Attorney Anthony C. Adamopoulos helps nice people get through nasty times. God, I love that. He concentrates in and usually achieves divorce resolution. His achievements in divorce resolution are primarily the result of his training and experience in dispute resolution, a field he has studied and taught. He is a certified collaborative divorce attorney and divorce mediator. He is also a trained divorce arbitrator. He received his formal training in dispute resolution at the Harvard Law School Program of Instruction for Lawyers and the Center of Dispute Settlement in Washington, D.C. So that first statement, you help nice people through nasty times, I think I want to steal that. That's because what happens is, I mean, even me with the finance, people are coming to me that they're not in their best light, but they're nice people. And you must see that a lot too, where people are coming to you and that they're not in their best spirits or what have you. And it seems like just by you even stating that, you recognize that.
I do. I do recognize it. And I think in most cases it is true.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm getting from this is you seem to be a problem solver instead of people just fighting. Dispute resolution and.
John, I try to be a peacemaker rather than a war maker. Though I will say, for a good part of my career in divorce resolution, I was a litigator. And the one thing I learned from litigation is that in most cases, 97% of the time, litigation is not necessary and a terrible waste of time, waste of energy, and waste of money.
Well, can you think of any situation that like stands out, like what you just said about how it's a waste of money and folks should have just came to the table and arbitrated?
You mean, you're asking what are examples of people that did not have to litigate?
Correct.
Yes. Well, one of the most common ones is a desire on one part to have the other person punished.
Oh, okay.
Punished because maybe they had an affair, punished because maybe they were never home and they weren't there to take care of their family. The court doesn't do that. The court doesn't punish people for being not nice people.
Right, not sticking up to their wedding vows.
And it's not going to happen.
Okay, yeah, no, I can see that. So, so with all your experience, right? So you were a litigator, and you're looking at everything. So, at what point did you decide, all right, I'm gonna turn it around the other way. I'm gonna be an arbitrator, and just leave this litigation point? How long has that been going on?
It's been now 20 years. When I attended a program on collaborative divorce and learned the history of collaborative divorce, learned how 97% of cases that start out in litigation get settled on the steps of the courthouse. Well, then that means I'm not really a litigator. If 97% of my cases never go to, quote, litigation, what I really am is a settler. And so why not start from the beginning? And that's why I'm concentrating primarily on collaborative divorce and divorce mediation.
Okay, so like any heads up advice, let's say someone's contemplating divorce, but they may or may not have talked to their spouse about it or whatever. Like, what first step should they take just to the idea of thinking about it?
The first step is to make sure divorce is the only thing left to do. That might mean counseling, that might mean talking to the other side. Sometimes talking with your spouse convinces you that divorce is the only thing. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, if divorce is inevitable, then the mistake that people make all the time, and it's an expensive mistake in emotion, time, and money, is they go out looking for a lawyer first. What they should be looking at first is which process do they want to use? how do they want to achieve the end goal of a divorce? And the three processes or options or approaches, one is litigation, the other is divorce mediation, and the other is collaborative divorce. That's what they should put research and time into. And then once they do that, then they can start to work with, they can look for, find attorneys who work primarily in that field and who've earned their 10,000 hours of experience.
So, yeah, I
Pick
mean,
the process, pick the approach first.
yeah, so I mean, something that you said was, look at the end game. So to me, that's like, look at I guess there's life after divorce. So what does that vision look like for you, right? So that's,
People with children often forget until they're reminded that they're only ending their marital relationship as husband and wife. They don't end their relationship as mother and father. And to the extent that they think they will, to the extent that they think they will have nothing to do with the child's other parent, it's a terrible, terrible life ahead for the children.
so do folks reach out to you, let's say after the fact, whether it's a year or so, and maybe one of the other spouses remarried, and then that causes more dynamics? Do you ever get involved with that piece post-divorce?
I'm happy to say that most of the time, when I hear from former clients, is to thank me for the help. And it's not unusual, as my secretary can attest to, for them a year, 2 years later to send gifts.
Oh, wow. That's a testament right there.
The best gift I ever received was a gift certificate to a excellent restaurant in Boston. I called up the party to thank about it, and she says, "Well, that was the deal." And I says, "Oh, remind me of the deal." She said, "Our daughter had reached 15 and she wanted to live with her dad." And to me, that was just terrible. And you said to me, "Look, Mary, I promise you that by the time your daughter turns 17 and before she leaves for college, she's going to want to live with you again. Then she will have lived with both parents and she will come back to you." And we had just left the courthouse. And I said, "And if I'm right," we were at the restaurant that she got me the gift certificate, "is you can send me a gift certificate to this restaurant." And 2 years later, when the daughter was 17, I got my gift certificate and the daughter moved back. That's usually what I hear. I don't usually hear crying or anything.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So when you're putting together these I guess agreements and arbitration, when it goes to the court, so I imagine it's close to 100% the judge is okay with it the way it's put together.
Well, in mediation, I just put together the draft. The law restricts what I can do.
Okay.
The agreement as the parties thought they wanted it. It goes to their attorneys. Their attorneys almost always approve them unless they find something that the client never told me about. If they go before the court with two attorneys, the likelihood is it will be approved. If I'm serving as a collaborative attorney, then I am the party's attorney, and I have never had a court refuse to approve an agreement that I have presented.
So what's the process of collaboration? Explain that.
In collaborative divorce, the theory is the lawyers and the party should not spending their time on litigation requirements when there isn't going to be any litigation. If
Okay.
97% of the time it's going to turn into a resolution, let's start resolving now. So the lawyers participate in a proposal where they say they will do nothing, have nothing to do with the litigation process. They will not file anything in the divorce court. And their sole goal of the lawyers will be not to win in trial, but to get a resolution. And to use that at a minimum, the parties use also two neutrals. One is a process neutral, And a process neutral is used when maybe something emotional happened the night before, there was a fight, and now we're having a meeting, and it's as if the logs are coming down the river going to the plant for processing the logs, and one log turns around and blocks everything up.
Oh,
The
yeah.
process neutral comes in and turns around the log so that we continue to work toward separation. The other neutral is a financial person who gathers all of the finances together and prepares financial statements and things of that nature. These are things that in litigation, the attorneys do all of that. Well, these are done by neutrals, and they, of course, are charging at a lower rate than the attorneys. Then we bring in other neutrals. Some people are neutrals like you, that there's issues around mortgaging, or how can the mortgage be made to work for us? How can it be leveraged? And then we'll bring in another neutral. We'll bring in John to help the two of you. And John's just going to be charging you less than the lawyers are charging you.
Sure.
So in the perfect case, the neutrals are doing all of the legwork, and the lawyers are just saying whether or not it'll get past the judge.
Okay.
That's the difference. But the lawyers are right next to the parties. Okay. The lawyers, by the way, don't lead the process. The process is led by that person I described as the process neutral.
Okay. Oh, that's great. So what's the best way someone to get a hold of you if they need your services?
Best way is to give me a call.
And how do they reach you? Is there a phone number, contact information?
Yeah, they can go, they my phone number is 978-744-9591. But they can go to my webpage, which is divorcingoptions.com, or they can type in Anthony C. Adamopoulos, divorce mediation, and my name will come up, and also my profile will come up on the right side of the page. Both places are my phone numbers.
Oh, that's awesome. And do you have a final thought you would like to leave with us today?
Yes. The most important thing is pick the option first, not the lawyer. Pick the process first.
I like that. I like that. Well, Anthony, this has been great. I appreciate you willing to participate in the spotlight here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye now.